would be really hard to imagine a career transition more dramatic than the one we're about to show you. This is a story about a hotshot Hollywood producer who quit so he could work in perhaps the least glamorous environment available, prison. Here's Alicia Menendez from our sister network, Fusion.
26-year-old Sean Wilson has a lot to smile about.
Woo!
He's the valedictorian of his class. He's one of 100 men today receiving a college diploma. But this isn't your typical college graduation.
By the dawn's early light.
Because these students are convicts, serving time at California's Ironwood State Prison. Today's rite of passage is all thanks to an unlikely champion in their corner. Scott Budnick, a former Hollywood producer, best known for the Hangover franchise.
Two nights we'll never forget.
Today, he's a prison whisperer of sorts. He says he's a regular face at 20 of California's 34 state prisons, where he works to educate and rehabilitate armed robbers, gang members, even murderers.
I'm interested in anybody who wants to change.
With 2.4 million people currently behind bars, the United States holds the highest number of inmates in the world. Critics say much of this is because too many people are serving excessive sentences for acts that shouldn't be criminalized, like nonviolent drug offenses.
There's some dangerous people here that belong in prison, but we also use prisons to incarcerate people that not only are we scared of, but that we're mad at. I'm honored to be here, and thank you for having me.
Scott first embarked on this call to action a decade ago, when a colleague invited him to attend a writing class at a prison.
I walked into juvenile hall for my first time and sat down with a bunch of kids facing their life in prison, and that day changed my life. I was just in this Hollywood bubble, and I realized 4 years into this, living in Hollywood, that I had lost that desire to give back, and I wanted to reclaim it, and I wanted to reclaim it right away.
He did so with creative writing programs like this one.
15 years to life, stuck in this place. I asked myself why, and the answer is because I wanted to gangbang.
As soon as they start to see themselves as a writer or see themselves as a poet, then they don't see themselves as a gang member or a criminal. About $50,000 a year to keep someone in prison for 7 out of 10 to come back. This is why a program like this is incredibly unique, and they get out and they go into a university rather than get out and go onto the street. So I really believe education is the game changer.
A game changer indeed for Sean Wilson. Like a lot of kids, Sean had big dreams of being a football great. Raised by a single mom, he went looking for attention in all the wrong places.
I think I saw the wrong male role models, and I think that's kind of where everything went wrong.
At 16, he was arrested for armed robbery and assault with a deadly weapon. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison.
I'm not going to be able to do what the average kid would do at 21, 22, 23. That's over for me. So how can I make the best of what I can do while I'm in here?
So, with Scott's support, Sean decided to take advantage of the college program that Ironwood offers its inmates.
When I met him, he was kind of a super gangster, and I watched Sean's transformation happen through education.
Every kid that came from juvenile hall who met Scott Budnick, he made them feel like they were better than what they were.
This man right here is as focused and driven and ambitious, going to come out there and take the world by storm and do a lot of great things.
But here, at California's Pelican Bay State Prison, there are no reminders of normal life.
At no prison does the door hiss with air like this.
It is here that Scott works to rehabilitate some of the state's most dangerous and violent criminals, who are kept in isolation for 22.5 hours a day inside the prison security housing unit.
This is the Pelican Bay handshake right here. That's what you do, that's all you get. It's an intense place. You're in an environment that's a scary environment. This is the short corridor. And if you see the sign right here, D SHU, some of the most powerful, heaviest inmates, they keep them in these 4 units right here.
Is there any extreme case you won't take on?
When I find out a commitment offense that's really, really egregious that I can't even wrap my mind around, oftentimes it's a very hardcore, like, sex offense. It's something that I don't really know how to deal with.
How about murder?
I've seen people that have committed murder 20, 30 years down the line end up showing real remorse. My man.
Hey.
How are you, brother?
All right, all right.
Jose Flores is currently serving a life sentence for robbery, extortion, and possession of a firearm as a felon. He's in the shoe because of his alliances with prison gangs.
So I thought they should see what life's like in here.
You're looking at it. This is my most valuable possession, my stool and my pen.
And you use that a lot?
All day.
Jose's probably the most interesting guy there. He's been used to people telling him he's no good his whole life, until we showed up on that day that did he make the decision to change.
Scott's visits restore hope. He is a reminder to these men that they have not been forgotten.
It's been years since we actually interacted with people, like you guys and people that care.
Are there people who don't deserve second chances?
If someone pays massive debts to society with decades of their life and can prove after decades that they're a changed person, then they should get a second chance.
The voice we have missing is the voice of the victims' families. What is the response that you've gotten?
There's some that get to an incredible place of forgiveness that I don't think I would have ever gotten to. And there's some that rightfully stay angry for a very long time. With the youth and young adults that I work with, I don't think they will ever be whole and be able to wholly succeed if they don't come to terms with the pain that they caused.
Sometimes I just want that time to myself, and it's hard to get in a place like this.
A chance to succeed is what Sean Wilson is hoping for. After serving nearly a decade in prison, Sean will get out in 6 months.
I want to go to school for music production. I believe I deserve that second chance to do something with my life instead of being wasted potential in here. Everybody with potential deserves a second chance. They just need to be exposed to their own potential. That's it. Simple as that.
For Nightline, I'm Alicia Menendez at California's Ironwood State Prison.